Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wholeness Wisdom Well. I am your host, Lizete Morais, and today so excited to introduce my guest, my friend, and a very powerful master in his own right, Neil. Welcome, my dear.
Hello, good to see you. I've got to say this is an honor for me, an honor and a privilege. I'm so excited.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for so many reasons. And Neil, you're an Akashic record reader. So for our listeners here, and because you've been in this world for a while, could you help us define, like, what is the Akashic records for you, if you could just...
Yeah, sure. My belief of the Akashic records, I always say to people my belief because it's up to you what you believe. You don't have to take my word as gospel. But it's sort of like how we extend from God and our journey back to God, back to the light. And it's like a record of our soul's journey, past, present, and future. And it's like people say to me, oh, do you see a library? Do you see? I don't see anything like that. It's, for me, it's just, it's there, past, present, and future it's not linear, it's very fluid. And we're able to access it. And what I find is it's so inspirational. The energy is so uplifting, and the records tell us what we need to know, what we need to do to improve or to make our lives a lot better. And usually when people come to me, they're at some sort of turning point in their lives where they're about to go up to the next level.
Right, right. And that's when you and I met, because I had heard about the Akashic Records, of course, a while ago. The first time I actually had a glimpse of it was in my Christianity journey when we talk about the Book of Life. So all records are in this Book of Life. So it is actually a Christian concept as well in the sacred scripture. But when I heard about the Akashic Records, I was hesitant to have anyone have a look at my records like that until I met you. So we'll go into that a little bit, but how do you read the Akashic Records, hon? Because this can sound woo-woo, but it's absolutely not. Even from a quantum physics, of course, there is space outside of time, yes? So you're able to access that quantum field that can see the past, the future, and the present, and coming through with soul's wisdom, which is incredible. So how do you read them?
Well, just to go back a little while, I trained to be a trance medium, and I could go into trance very easily and have my eyes open and talk, but stay in trance. And I trained to channel like that and to access spirit on a certain level. When I tried for the Akashic Records, gosh, about 35 years ago, and I did it under hypnosis. And we had some success, but nothing like what I do today. So what I do is I have this, if you like, an agreement with spirit, with the Akashic Records. That I ask people for questions first for a few reasons, but one of the reasons is that I put your questions out to the universe first, to the Akashic Records. And I know that they're not going to tell me anything private, anything that you don't want me to know. They are just going to pass through me what you need to know. And a lot of it you already know, but a lot of it is people are too humble or they're too scared to admit power. And when I show them the power that they have and show them the potential that they have, it just does something magical happens. And this is the spiritual alchemy part of it.
Absolutely.
People email me all the time and say to me, I knew this bit, but this bit has happened. And I'm not a fortune teller. It's just the next step, really.
Right.
Or it's to give you the confidence to know that, like an example, when I met you, and I didn't know you at all. What I say to you is what comes out. I don't explain it. I forget. I can't remember now what I said to you. But an hour after I've said it, it's like a dream. It's gone. And it's just pure channel. And I asked my guides one time, it was under a shamanic journey, to show me the Akashic Records. And what I saw was like glittering symbols. It was like, a bit like the Matrix, all these little glittering symbols, but each one held so much data and information. And they said, you won't see all of this. You won't. What we will do is we will just work with you and tell the person what they need to know.
That's beautiful. And you know, Neil, your session with me changed my life. It really, really did.
It's so heartwarming to hear.
It totally changed my life. And I had been on, and I really recognize what you're saying. So in my journey, which I've called the journey of wholeness, because that's the way I call it, but really it is the alchemy of each of us coming into the purity of what we are. And in that journey, there's these ups and downs and these initiations, these breaking points where spirit says, no, not that way. So we've got to, but when I came on with you, because I was in that, I had indeed passed an initiation, the ego story of what I was supposed to do had fallen apart. And here comes a friend of mine saying, if you'd really like your Akashic Records read, there's this guy. And I knew it was time that I knew what was in the records. And to your point you made earlier, indeed, you didn't tell me anything I didn't know, but you confirmed the deepest, darkest whisper that I would only whisper to me.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't even dare assume. So when you come on and you tell me that, my guides were clapping because I just passed this initiation and I was here to lead a revolution of women leadership in the feminine way. I mean, these are the deepest things. And you really confirmed to me what I am, not because I needed to know what I am. I've done that work, but it was to have an external validation. So much of this journey, we have no validation of who the soul essence is.
But it's not validation from me.
Exactly.
It's validation from the records and spirit who are so happy with you and what's going on. That's why I feel honored and privileged. I turn stuff down all the time, but this is really important, what you're doing. It's very important.
Yeah. Should we get into it and just tell them what we're going to do together? Because that is what is happening pretty soon. So we are going to start. I'll just kick us off, and then I really would love to ask more about what you're going to be bringing. But it started with a dream 5 months ago around July, when I said what I'd really love to create is a container where we could serve as guides to a shamanic journey and have a community. I'm on my journey. All of us are. And what I saw was this collective of 12 people. You are one of them, who has been on a journey of practicing this medicine to come to the purification of your gift and the ownership, really the mastery of your medicine, and say, this is what I do. And I thought, this is actually the journey that all people that are called with this mystical gift, with this hidden spiritual gift that they feel it, but they're still on the journey to express it, to own it, to share it. And to step into their calling. And part of the shamanic journey I wanted to guide, so we created this 1-year container, a shamanic guide, a shamanic journey, sorry. And we're going to be doing a lot of the inner alchemy required to go through these stages of initiation, which we no longer have to walk alone. So it kind of serves as a membership. Now, part of that, in the really beginning of our journey, we're going to look at awareness, which is the clarity of our calling, so that confidence comes naturally. When we are clear about what we're really here to do, then the confidence piece comes naturally. And this is where you step in, my sweet one, because I put you in the month of calling. And how do you believe that the Akashic Records help or support someone come into their calling?
Okay. I'll just tell you this by experience. I'm not blowing my own trumpet because I'm quite humble, as you know.
I know. All of you are.
It's like I have a client in Ireland, and it really sticks out to me, this lady. Do you hear that thunder there?
Thunder, there's a storm, yeah.
It was on Valentine's Day this year, and reading was so profound. I told her thing, I can't even remember what I told her, but I know I told her about her own journey and what she needed to do and her own divine femininity and things she needed to give up and opened a pathway that she wanted to see. And she knew it, but she just didn't believe it in herself. Now that lady is now writing a book. She was on antidepressants for about 20 years. I didn't tell her to give them up. I don't do anything like that. But she stopped them. She doesn't lead it. She is doing stuff. She accessed the Akashic Records during that reading. Never done it before. I've never seen anybody just access it like that. And that's her journey now. And she's accessing them all the time.
Right.
Another lady, I'm trying to think because there's a lot of people, it's like setting people up in different avenues. There's a lady who I know she's going to be a speaker. She is so passionate and she's got such a different viewpoint that she needs to be speaking. And the thing I gave to her was to embrace her anger because somebody needs to get angry with the unfairness of all this. And there needs to be a step up because we can't be, I'm talking as an old white man when all the patriarchy are all old white men, and I'm trying to balance that out because it's you know it's going to be dismantled. Women are rising. I'm an ally of that, and this journey, my own Akashic journey, is taking me on that. I've got to say, sorry, I'm digressing a little bit.
Oh no, please.
I just want to say that you don't know this yet, but you opened something in my divine femininity. You touched something, and it was all, and you know I'm gay, and I've always been around strong women all my life. But when we did that reading, it wasn't just a one-way street. It wasn't just a one-way reading from me. I got something back, and I know I told you at the time that you came through the screen as pure love, and it opened something up in me. So if I can do that with the women I meet or the clients, even some men, I had a special forces guy 2 weeks ago from Australia.
Yeah.
And he was saying to me, how can I be a better person? And I said to him, your masculinity is so toxic. Where is the femininity in you? And he was like, oh, I was a soldier. And I went, you need a softer side. I said, you don't have a partner, do you? And he said, no. I said, living with your mother? He went, yeah. And I went, think about this, because you're not relating to women. You're relating as a soldier or a toxic male. And he went, all the scars I bear from women. I went, maybe that's a lesson that you need to learn. But it's nothing bad in balancing your masculine with your feminine. There's nothing great about being, this alpha male.
You are not digressing, not an inch, dear beautiful one, because, the whole journey of wholeness, which is the basis of Woman Leader Rise, which is the basis of this container that we are creating together, is all about balancing our masculine and feminine. It is coming into the wholeness of our being. Our soul is neither feminine or masculine. It is both, and it's going to require both of us to come into what I call inner sacred union, so we can actually deliver humanly on what our soul is calling for. The soul requires both sides to be strong.
Totally with you on that. Totally
right. So, Woman Leader Rise, when I called it Woman Leader Rise, I was like, I want to call it Woman Leader Rise because it is specifically for women. But I also want to invite men in, because men are supporting the feminine movement arise. This is not just about women rising. It is about women rising in a feminine way and masculines developing their feminine way, the way of love.
And equality.
Yeah, of nurturing, of all sorts.
You see, I was thinking about this before I came online. I was reading something that it was good. It was about in Afghanistan where the people are now selling the daughters because they've got no money and everything like that. I'm thinking it's so unfair how women, I thought, like, it's terrible to me. Like I say, being gay, I've lived most of my life with lesbians. And we have this really, I've got a really strong respect for strong women. They have never treated me disrespectfully. They never put me down. And I never do that to them. And that's what I love about it. When you're in like a male environment, it's totally different. And I can't gel with that at all. Right. So when I see all this unfairness, and I know there has to be balance, I know it has to be. And I was thinking, when you think of places like in England, the top school is Eton, where it's male only. It's part of the problem, because the culture there is all about male domination.
Yes, yes.
It's so toxic.
It is indeed. And you know, there's a lot for us to heal and grow. And I know the people that are going to be called to our adventure, they are people that have seen the toxicity, have felt it in their life, you know, and have some sort of medicine to balance this, because we cannot expect the world to change or balance out if we are not balancing out. This is why I've stopped even looking, and I check in almost as the mirror of how we're doing. All I know is, in the control of my life force, I can choose to be balanced. And wholeness comes to me down to two things, which is specifically these wounds, this closed heart that we have. But we find this in men and women, right? And this is centuries and lifetimes of not being safe, to be vulnerable, to be sensitive, to be loving. Because when this heart starts opening, we start becoming very sensitive. So our first thing is we've got to close it. But actually that heart is the access doorway to all our spiritual power. So we need to heal that. And a lot with women is we're healing the lower chakras, which is our independence, our standing in our own strength in a feminine way, balanced and supported by our masculine side. And then learning to share that with a partner, which is the twin flame journey, which is a whole other level of like, once I've got this wholeness, then I can dance with my partner. So it is a journey. And it's profound, and it's a profound, profound journey, but so loving and so beautiful.
Well, when this Akashic Records, my journey on it is leading me down this road that I know that the Age of Aquarius it's coming, and it has to be women that take us there, because the male energy is too toxic for it, and we need women to rise and take it there. And my big thing is that the only portal for a human soul on this planet, the only thing strong enough, is a woman. And it's not revered like it should be, because it's not a male thing.
And it is that, isn't it? It's the reverence that needs to return. It's not that one is above the other. It is that there is that gift within women of strength, of birthing something new that has been kind of downtrodden for so long now. But we are birthing something new. Absolutely.
Every pregnancy should be celebrated. That's when a woman's being a goddess, when she's creating.
Yes.
But it's trivialized.
Yeah. And that's what I'm excited about our women as well, because we, this empowering women to step into their sovereignty is not about walking and prancing around like a diva, like we see a lot out there. The sovereignty is this owning of the strength that we are, the love that we are, and feeling strong enough to stand in that space, even if we're the only one standing there. And that's what I think this community is going to make such a difference in so many people's lives, is they don't have to stand there alone. I can't tell you how many times in this journey I had to question, am I crazy? Am I making this up? Am I the only one that understands what's going on? So I needed my brothers and sisters to be with me. So I also am considering another male to join us in the circle. And he's a man, but again, a man who supported his wife and to rise and has deep respect for the feminine, has deep respect for what she brings to the table as the necessary component to balance things out. And that's what it's about. It's about learning to be with all of us in love, right? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about what's coming.
Me too. I'd say
what would you say is the core, because we mentioned male toxicity twice now, and I was just wondering, in your insight, Neil, what would you say is the core of this toxicity that men are stuck in, are slaves to at the moment? What's at the heart of it for you?
It's weird, because in my corporate life, I was with men a lot, and it's just so different. They call it banter. I don't know what they call it. In the UK, they call it banter. But men are constantly trying to one-upmanship each other, constantly. And they see women as the easiest target. So they already think they're one above women or high above women. And then they have to down each man. And when you get like a lot of men together, that's the atmosphere that it's created.
Competitive, aggressive.
And one-upmanship all the time. And you can't seem to be seen to be loving or soft or supportive of women, because then you're not part of the gang. And so a lot of men will say things and do things that they don't mean, because they're frightened of being ostracized. And, I remember situations where I've opted out of things or told people that were wrong and been really bullied over it and like thrown out of things because, it's called names and go and join the women if you feel like that. And because you don't want to see the other side of it. You don't want to.
And yet all of us as humans, we require nurturing. So, I mean, that is also what I see. It's a cage. It's a cage of a false personality. It's a cage of a false identity. I watch even men that I know get stuck in that cage of, I've got to be the best. I've got to be the strongest in the room. I'm constantly like tearing someone down so I can. And I'm like, but that's not what they really like. When they really disarmed, when they really in themselves, they're nothing like that. I'm like, what is going on? This is just a survival mechanism that can be healed, thank goodness. So we are looking at the men who are now done with that, and they want to say, I want to learn how I can stay connected to this heart, stay connected to my truth, and do so in a loving, strong, powerful way of presence. That's what we want with wholeness, isn't it?
Yeah.
It will change the world. Men who give a shit, men who actually love their wives or love their kids or love their work and love each other, willing to support each other, it will change our world. Yes, it will.
The thing is, while there's still boarding schools and things like that, like male only,
institutionalized,
that spoils everything.
But it's trauma. It's trauma. It's trauma. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen the ramifications of that up front.
Yeah, it just creates a culture of arrogance.
Yes. And we know inside that arrogant shell, there's a little boy crying in there for some.
Wanting his mother again. That's because to go back to that time when they were first taken to the school or whatever. Yeah. I didn't think we'd be talking about things like this. But I'm enjoying it.
Me too. So I have no idea, but it's for a reason. And that's why I love these conversations, because I didn't want just an interview where we're showing how fabulous you are, because you are fabulous, Neil. You and every single one of these masters. I wrote a whole list of why I chose you and why I wanted to ask you, not just because you're such a master, but it is this purity of your channel, the earnest of your own journey, and the courage you had to take to say, yes, I am different. No, you don't understand what I understand, but I choose to do this anyway. So you're not only just a guide on this journey, you're not here just to only support us, Neil, with your special medicine, but you're also serving as a role model for all those women out there, all those men out there that will join us, who have this inner knowing, who feel this inner call, but they are so afraid to find the, or they can't find the courage to not conform, to stand in that strength. And
they don't want to look vulnerable. That's it. They don't want to appear vulnerable. They have to put the shield up all the time.
Yes.
But that will come down. It has to come down because it's going to change. It's in the records that women will prevail.
Yes. Oh yes, love wins. No matter what it looks like, love wins.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what we're standing for. And I'm so honored to stand with you.
Same here, you know that. You know what I think of you.
Thank you.
Oh, I just think this journey, that if I can help in whatever way I can, it's just like a privilege to be part of it. I know I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, I know that I'm going to be stood on a platform at some point talking about women's issues and maybe just introducing something about it, because the last thing I want to do is mansplain, because I've seen it done so many times.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Just to be an ally and help in whatever way I can. And for you to give me this opportunity is fantastic. It's lovely.
I love it. I love it. It's a win-win-win for everyone. And I know that I would not trust anyone to my clients more. I would not trust anyone to my friends more. And I think that that's the difference between this container versus any other. I'm not choosing you because you were interested or I was searching for an Akashic record reader. It was, you were on my journey. You created a real shift for me. I know you were missing peace, and you were missing peace for many. So I am thrilled to have you with us, Neil, and I can't wait for what we're going to create.
Me too, me too.
Well, thank you, everybody. And I hope that we talked about a lot of things, you know, but it's this, we know that there's records in us. We know that our soul is on a journey. And ultimately, and I think, Neil, you totally agree with me, ultimately, we want to grow to a place where we receive guidance directly from our spirits, directly from love, in deep communication and union with our own heart. But while we're on the way, there is nothing like a friend that you know is a pure channel of tap in, what's going on, what help, what am I not seeing, because we don't see it all. And that's why we do this all together. So I want to thank you for being here on your journey, and thank you so much, Neil. Is there anything you'd love to say to all the men and women that are going to watch this as we sign off?
I just want to say what a privilege it is for me and for all you men and women that are going to enroll on this course, or to have the advice from this. You're so lucky. You're the fortunate one, believe me.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And I'll see you soon. Take care now.